You're probably watching on a replay. It's too bad you missed out, but you know what? Hopefully next time you continue. Just make sure you leave your comment and your reaction. All right. Let's see here. Let's see how quick it is this time. Oh, there it is. 15 seconds. 15 seconds right on. All right. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Thursday edition of MFers Live. It is July 5th, 2018, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, whoop, whoop. What are you staring at, Panic? Why? There's just something at the wall.
He's weird.
I noticed that, and I actually have that on camera where he's staring at the wall. I don't know, but like maybe there's ghosts here, possibly. Never know. But yes, welcome to this edition of MFers Live. It is our Thursday edition. It is our tea time Thursday, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not drinking the iced tea this time. I'm drinking Earl Grey. Earl Grey. All right, I'm drinking the Earl Grey today, so I got my tea going. And we're going to read off a whole bunch of facts for you guys today, courtesy of Maester Chef. Hello, Timmy. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, my Joker on duty. How are you, bud? And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I did post up. Hopefully you guys noticed. Confidential is running a contest. Free. Really free to enter. All you have to do is go over to his page. Go check it out. His new music video is released. So go click a like to it in the comment. And share it off, and you're entered for a chance to win a hoodie, autographed CDs, some stickers, and it's free. Totally free, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, he's one of our MFers. He is. Guy's pretty awesome. He's part of SDK. It's pretty amazing. Right on there. Yes, if you guys don't know, that's Tyler Birch. Yes, Tyler Birch. But he goes by Confidential. Yeah. That's good. That's good. All right. So, yes, we are here in studio with Nacho the Cat, as always. He's been pretty excited, now that he's on his little stand here. He's no longer sitting on our MF. Can you pop that back up here? All right, can you pop this up? Sit on top, buddy. Ooh. Oh, we did. Okay, well, maybe we can get that in. Nope. Okay, we might have to readjust the camera a bit, but we'll get that. All right, well, I'll set you there. All right, so there you go. And yes, we are filmed live in front of a live studio audience. We have none other than Maester Chef and Gordo in the background. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we do. We have Maester Chef and Gordo in the background, of course. Hopefully everybody's having a great summer so far. Come on, it's still beginning of July. Right? It's only July 5th. We still got the rest of July, and we got, like 3 weeks in July? We got like 5 in August. So hopefully everyone's going to have a great summer. All right, Nacho, okay. We're going to do some shout-outs right away like we always do. Nacho's got to remind me because he's always got to send those little positive vibes out. So, ladies and gentlemen, guys, like I said, you guys don't win a prize on the first of the month. You have the rest of the month for a chance to win your name with Nacho because we do shout-outs every day. We try to do them twice a day. The last shout-out we do actually goes to Nacho. And he tries to send out some positive vibes out to you, try to get you to come tune in and hang out with us. And yes, then we snap a picture of him, and then we tag you in it. So like I said, you have a chance to win your name with Nacho. All right, there we have Caitlin McCandles. Hello, Jeff. How you doing, buddy? All right, so we're going to put this a little bit so you guys can see. I got a handful here, indeed. All right, so we have Yvette Prince. Hello, Mary Jane. How are you? Look, we got Brenda White. Brenda White's been like such a popular name. Look. Here's another one for Brenda White. Oh yeah, she's a trooper. She is. She tunes in every day and makes sure she gets her comment reaction on everyone. There was 3 bonus days last month, so you had an extra chance for your name entered an extra 6 times, and I think she hit it. Every last single one. Let's see what else we got. We got Jazzy Wood Tilly. All right, what we got here? Oh look. Kim Rems Remo Fabrero. There you go, brother. Right on. What else we got here? We got Verna Lockman. All right, so we're going through. Oh, the wonderful Leah Dubrick. Yes, she is back, and I know she's sitting there going through a lot of footage, and she's got some hauntings that she's got to go to this summer. So make sure you guys stay tuned. You guys get a chance to see those. Hello, Michael. Michael, how are you? Yes, thanks for tuning in. Always make sure you leave a comment and a reaction. You get your name entered twice for a chance to win a prize on the first of the month. All right, so we have Dave Dressler. All right, Dave. All right, what else we got here? We got Crystal Harris. All right, so then we got Peter Salinka. There you go, Peter Salinka. He's all the way from BC. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, MFers live. We are worldwide. Yes, we have MFers across Canada. We have MFers in the States. We have MFers in Algeria and the Philippines and out in England and even all the way out in Australia. So we are worldwide for sure. All right, we have Suli Zohan, which I'm surprised. Suli's usually the first ones, one of the first ones in here. All right, we have Kim Hunter, and then last but not least, all right, here we go. All right, right on. All right, King Rems again, Remo Febrero. Yes, he's one of our MFers, but he's a hip hop artist. We actually have a few, quite a few of our MFers are hip hop artists. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna send that there. Hopefully, send out some positive vibes out to King Rems. Tell him come hang out with us. Hello, Tamara. Thanks for perfect timing. Because I know Tamara loves our good news in history, and we're just about to do our good news in history. All right, so it's perfect timing. Hello, Verna. Verna, you missed it. You got shout-outs, yes. That's pretty cool. I like that, though. I like when I do that. I can do shout-outs, and then everybody starts showing up after they get shout-outs. That's awesome. All right, so we're going to pull these up because it's still warm in the studio. Yes, we have AC running and fans running. Still gets pretty warm here, though. The joys of studios, eh? The joys. All right, you guys ready? All right, so we got these up. Here we go. All right, so we're going to do our good news in history for July 5th. All right, we're going to start off with a happy birthday to musician, singer, songwriter Robbie Robertson, who turns 75 years old today. As a songwriter, the Canadian is credited for writing The Wait, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, Up on Cripple Creek, Broken Arrow, and Somewhere Down the Crazy River. He played with the band. And Bob Dylan for years before going solo and producing records. Robertson has collaborated with Martin Scorsese, who directed his rockumentary film called The Last Waltz, featuring the band alongside a string of mega music stars. He continued acting and composing for a number of dramatic Scorsese films, including Raging Bull and even Casino. And there is a link here, ladies and gentlemen. You guys can actually watch him play the Wait in The Last Waltz. So happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday. Yes, good news, always. All right, let's see what else we have here. Isaac Newton published his formulation of the laws of motion, which formed the foundation of classical mechanics, as well as his law of universal gravitation. And he published that back in 1687. Wow. That's almost, okay, well, it'll be under 400 years. So a little over 300 years. What? Isaac Newton published his formulation back in 1687. So that'd be a little over 300 years.
Yeah, almost had you giggling.
Always give me giggling, always. So William Booth founded the Salvation Army in London back in 1867, and they're still around today. The National Labor Relations Act is enacted in the U.S. 1935. Wow. All right, so 70 years ago today, the British National Health Service Act was launched, providing government-financed medical and dental care as an integral part of British society, largely free at the point of delivery. And it's paid for by taxes, and they did that back in 1948. Wow. So the birth of rock and roll. In his first commercial recording session, 19-year-old Elvis Presley, invited to play with session musicians at Sun Records, launched into That's All Right, an old blues number that became a huge crossover hit with both white and black audiences. And that was back in 1954. Wow, yeah, almost like the birth of rock and roll, yeah. So the U.S. voting age was lowered from the age of 21 to 18 years old, and certified by President Nixon, and that was back in 1971. Now that's kind of funny. Yes. Legal age to drink and stuff is 21, but to vote you can be 18. Are they that desperate for votes down there? The government that desperate? Come on. Hey, Big Sexy, how you doing? Yeah, there he is. Ken Cow, how you doing, brother? Like I said, you got to come hang out in the studio, brother. Have some MFer live time with the original MFer and the rest of the crew here, and also with our MFers. What else we got? So Arthur Ashe was the first black man to actually win Wimbledon Singles Championship, and that was back in 1975. Wow. So the SARS virus was declared to be contained by the WHO in 2003. First Indonesian presidential election was held on this day back in 2004, so like 14 years ago. So that's pretty cool. Roger Federer won a record 15th Grand Slam tennis tournament at Wimbledon, and that was like 9 years ago, 2009. Wow. And also on this day in 2000, conservationists launched the largest ever the largest ever airlift of wild birds. Yes. With over 18,000 penguins were being moved to safety as an oil slick treated their South African breeding ground during mating season. A third of the entire species of black-footed penguins, found only in Africa and classified as threatened, lived on these islands. I got like a hair stuck like below my nose. It's just irritating. And of course, I'm live, right? So you gotta go like this. Sorry, late showing. So thousands of volunteers and zoo experts helped with both the airlift and the cleaning of 20,000 birds. There is a video here that shows volunteers and experts scrubbing and feeding nearly 20,000 oil-soaked penguins in just 30 days. I remember that. I do. And that was 18 years ago. Wow, yeah, because I had just turned 20 when that. No, it was just before I turned 20. I was 19. Yeah. So yeah, that's wow. I actually remember that. Yeah. So that's actually the biggest airlift. That's pretty cool. So 20. Sorry. Yeah. So okay. So over 18,000. It says nearly 20,000. So between 18,000 and 20,000 penguins were airlifted. That'd be large. That would be. Hello, Joanne. How are you doing? Thanks for tuning in. All right, so we're going to share this off to our Facebook because we got to connect to our facts. Whoops. All right, so at least so I can share this directly to MFers. No, that's not the page I want. I want MFers live page. There we go. All right, so we're going to share this off, publish that out. All right, that is shared directly to the MFers live Facebook page. If you ever want to lazy, you guys can always open up another tab or another window. We read our positive news and stories from www.goodnewsnetwork.org, or you can also follow along on go to your Google Play Store and just download Good News Network. That's where we get. I have it on my phone. I have it on my computer. I even have it on the tablet. Easy access. And on my phone, I get notification every time there's a positive story that comes in. And trust me, sometimes just a positive story helps, right? All right, so we're going to go to our facts. All right, here we go. We got to open up our email. It's from Maester Chef. Sends them to us. And if you guys ever want, you guys can always email myself or Maester Chef or Gordo or even Nacho okay, there it is. Come on, okay. All right, you guys can always email us at mferslive@gmail.com. That is mferslive@gmail.com. All right, so we're going to close that part now. All right, so let's see here. We got, all right, we're going to start right out into space. That's where we're going to go. We're going to go follow some facts all the way out to the Milky Way. All right. Did I just read that right? Is that 14 pages? That's 14 pages. All right, so this is going to be a really big fact. All right, so in China, the Milky Way is actually called the Silver River. In ancient Chinese myth, the river was placed in the heavens by the gods, trying to separate a weaver who made their clothes and the herdsmen who loved her. The Romans called our galaxy the Milky Road because it reminded them of milk. The Greeks called it the Milky Circle. In fact, the word galaxy is from the Greek word for milk. So in Sanskrit, in
Sanskrit.
Sanskrit, thank you, Mr. Chef. In Sanskrit, the Milky Way is called Akash Ganga, or Ganges of the heavens. Visible light, the light that we can see, is only one form of energy given off by stars and other objects in the Milky Way. Our galaxy also consists of other types of energy, such as infrared light, radio waves, gamma rays, dark matter, and even X-rays. When a person sees the Milky Way at night, they're seeing about roughly 0.000025% of the galaxy's hundreds of billions of stars. So it's a really small, minuscule that you'll see. But it doesn't look like that. So it looks like a lot, right? Because there's so many. So in Greek mythology, the Milky Way was created when Hera spilled her milk while suckling Hercules. Oh, wow. It was also described as the road to Mount Olympus, or the path of ruin made by the Helios, the sun gods, the chariot. So in the very center of the Milky Way contains a very powerful gravitational force that scientists believe is a black hole, which they have actually named Sagittarius A. Astronomers believe this black hole weighs as much as 4 million of our suns put together. This is like so super heavy. Hey, Rock, how you doing, brother? It's always good to see you in here. So the Milky Way is a galaxy. It's a huge group of stars, gas, dust, and other matter held together in space by their mutual gravitational pull. The Milky Way is just one of billions of galaxies in the universe. It is also a barred spiral galaxy that has curved arms that spin out from its center. Astronomers discovered it was barred, meaning the center is bar-shaped, rather than an ordinary spiral galaxy, meaning the center is a spherical bulge. In the 1990s. So it is 100,000 to 120,000 light years in diameter. So it would take a phenomenal amount of energy for a star or other object to leave the galaxy. So stars must reach speeds of 1 million miles per hour faster than the 600,000 miles per hour at which objects already speed around the Milky Way. So astronomers have discovered 18 such giant blue stars being ejected out of our galaxy. Scientists are unsure how the stars are being propelled. There aren't more stars in the arms of the Milky Way spiral than elsewhere. The stars in the arms are actually bigger stars, which die out quicker and burn brighter, which illuminates those around them and make the arms actually more visible. There she is. Hello, Suli. Thanks for tuning in. You got yourself a shout out earlier there, yeah. So the ancient Greek philosopher Democritus, is that how you pronounce it? Mr. Chef? He's zombied out. He's zombied right out. All right, so Democritus, who lived from about 460 to 370 BC, was the first known person to suggest that the Milky Way is made up of stars. So Galileo Galilei, from 1564 to 1642, was the first to identify and resolve the band of light as many individuals with his telescope back in 1610. Wow. So, all right, so history of the galaxy fact. All right, so many consider Democritus to be the father of modern science. The oldest star in the Milky Way is at least 13.6 billion years old, and most likely formed shortly after the Big Bang, which created our galaxy. All right, yeah. Pull my hair back. So the space between the planets in the solar system is relatively dense because of the particles in the solar wind. So through the density is much lower than the air on Earth. So at about 10 million atoms per cubic meter on average. The interstellar medium in the Milky Way is thinner than in our own solar system, but the galaxy's gravity keeps most gas and dust nearby at about 10,000 atoms per cubic meter on average. So the matter in the space between the galaxies has the lowest density in the universe at 1 atom per cubic meter. Wow. So for our solar system, we're the size of the U.S. quarter. Which I don't have. I know I own a U.S. quarter. I just don't know what it is. So if you take a U.S. quarter, okay, and say that our solar system is the size of that quarter, okay, the sun will be a microscopic piece of dust. And the Milky Way would be about the size of the United States. The Milky Way rotates at a speed of 168 miles per second. So the actual place in space where you were an hour ago is now roughly 600,000 miles away. It's really quick. And that was only within an hour, right? So the Milky Way has a halo of dark matter that makes up over 90% of its mass. What this means is that we can see it, even with telescopes. It's less than 10% of the mass of our galaxy. So scientists call the Milky Way and about 40 other galaxies nearby the local group. They are held together by mutual gravitational attraction. The local group belongs to an even larger group of galaxies called the local supercluster. Now, this supercluster is about 100 million light years across. You cannot see it in just one eyeful, right? So as pricked out with less and greater lights, between the poles of the universe, the Milky Way gleameth white, as to set very sages questioning. So Dante Alighieri, the center of the Milky Way, is full of mostly old stars. Its spiral arms contain newborn stars. The center of the Milky Way has both the greatest concentration of stars and the most massive stars. So, most amount at once and biggest. Yeah. So scientists believe that the Milky Way contains up to 400 billion stars within it, and at least as many planets as well. So the largest galaxy known, which is the IC 1101, has over 100 trillion stars. Yeah. So smaller galaxies, like the large Magellanic Cloud, have about 10 billion stars. The most stars a person can actually see from any point on Earth is only about 2,500 stars at a time. Yes, so you can see it at one time. So that's why they're not big. You would not be able to see that with one eye. So no matter how far back you'd have to look across. You just have to. So the Milky Way galaxy is 100,000 light years from edge to edge. So if a rocket could travel at the speed of light, it would take 100,000 years to cross the galaxy. By comparison, light can go from Earth to the moon in just 1 second. And that was, we credit Edwin Hubble is credited for discovering the shape and scope of the Milky Way. So say a bullet goes at the speed of light. Okay, if you were to fire a bullet from one end, it would take 100,000 years at the same speed to cross that galaxy. We got a lot of answers to go. We got to learn to travel really quick. That's scary. All right, so let's see. Really? Well, we just got a whole bunch of facts. This is like all space facts. This is awesome. All right. So here we got some Hubble facts too with this. All right, so Hubble is considered one of the most important astronomers of the 20th century. Yes, Edwin Hubble. Okay, he lived from 1889 to 1953. So he died before I was even born. So the Milky Way is about 100,000 light years in diameter, which is small compared to M87, an elliptical galaxy of 980,000 light years in diameter. So bigger still is the galaxy Hercules A, which is about 1.5 million light years across. The central bulge of the Milky Way is about 10,000 light years thick, though. So 100,000 light years this way, about 10,000 light years this way. Still, it's a lot. It's huge, big amount, right? So our solar system orbits the center of the galaxy at the speed of about 514,000 miles per hour. relative to the galactic center. An object this fast could circumnavigate Earth's equator in 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Yeah. So it takes about 250 million years for the solar system to go just once around the galaxy or to complete one galactic year. That's pretty cool. So, okay, so one galactic year is 250 million years. So we haven't, well, I imagine we've probably hit a galactic year probably by now. Must have. Well, I know we're only in 2018, but come on, the world's been around for a while. All right, so the sun have orbited the galaxy fewer than 20 times since our solar system was born about 4.6 billion years ago. So yeah, so see, we've done it. So that's what 250. So that's four times. Okay, so 16. So 16. Yeah, so 16. So about a little over 18 times. Over 18 times it's done. So we've had 18 galactic years so far. So we're in our 18th galactic year. That's pretty cool. Look at it that way. See, we're perfect. We're 18. That's great. See, the world became legal age to vote in the United States. There you go. So yeah, so it's actually been okay, see here. So the orbital speed of the solar system around the center of the Milky Way galaxy is about 220 kilometers a second. It takes about 1,400 years for our solar system to travel 1 light year. For 1 light year, so 1,400 years is 1 light year. If the Milky Way had the same diameter as a frisbee, the thickness of the disk would be about the sheet of paper. That's what it would look like if we compared it. If you took the frisbee and went, okay, so you remember shrink everything down. So instead it would be about the thickness of a sheet of paper. Okay, and that's just shrinking things down to look normal size because it's a lot bigger. So all galaxies are not alike either, but most fit into one of 3 main groups. Yes, there's the spiral galaxies such as the Milky Way, the elliptical galaxies, and the irregular galaxies. The Milky Way has at least 3 giant streams of stars that wrap around it. So there's the giant arms that you see around it. Hello, Mary. Hello, Chris. Oh, look, my brother from another mother. How you doing, buddy? It's always great to see you. Tuning in all the way from BC, brother. Always, always. Congratulations to you and your wife on your anniversary. Right on, guys. It's good to see a couple happy and still together. It's awesome. Hello, Yvette. All right, so what else we got? All right, so we got some more quick little. Oh yeah, see, we're almost done. All right, so these streams are actually high over the Milky Way and between 13,000 and 130,000 light years from Earth. That contain millions of stars within them. Scientists believe that the Milky Way is consuming a small galaxy called the Sagittarius Dwarf Galaxy. Besides the Andromeda Galaxy, 2 other galaxies are close to the Milky Way. The Large Magellanic Cloud, which is about 170,000 light years away from the Milky Way, and the Small Magellanic Cloud, which is about 200,000 light years away. They are named after Ferdinand Magellan, the first sailor to travel all the way around the globe. That's pretty cool. All right, so the sun, the Earth, and the rest of the solar systems are located. Wow, these are a lot of numbers, guys. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so all right, so it would actually take a spaceship thousands of years traveling at the speed of light to get far enough away to actually capture a picture of the entire galaxy of the Milky Way. That is amazing. So every picture of the Milky Way that we have is either a picture of another galaxy or an artist's interpretation. So yes, we do not actually have a full image of the Milky Way because it's so huge. All right, let's. You know what? That's it. All right, so that's pretty cool. Astronomers actually estimate that 7 new stars form in the Milky Way each and every year. So that's pretty cool. They form inside huge clouds of dust and gas. It's really awesome. The Milky Way and another spiral galaxy, Andromeda, will actually collide in about 2 billion years. And the collision actually may last for about 5.5 billion years. So in about 2 billion years, they're going to collide, and it's going to last for about 5.5 billion. That's going to be interesting. Yeah. However, the sun and Earth may not be greatly affected because the distance between stars in the galaxy is so large. But when the collision is over, the Milky Way and Andromeda will no longer be two spiraling galaxies, but one elliptical galaxy. So that's pretty cool. So the Milky Way and Andromeda are going to collide, and they're going to become one. That's really interesting. Yes. See here. So stars. Okay, I just read that one. Okay, we read that one too. Okay, so it's yes. Okay, so that would be the end of. So we did it. We're on. All right. Oh, I gotta open this back up. All right, so we're gonna do some. We're gonna stop here quickly. We just finished off some facts. A lot of facts on the Milky Way and our space out there. A lot of numbers. That is quite a lot of numbers. All right, so we're gonna do some more quick shoutouts here. All right, I haven't seen King Rems pop again, buddy. That's okay though. You did really well yesterday. That's okay. It's all good to see if we can do another one here. Okay. All right, so we have Lydia Rose Kettles. We have Tamara Richards. There you go. There. What else we got here? We got Jazzy Wood Tilly, and then we have Katrina Brown. There you go. And here she's sick. Her little one is sick. So hopefully she gets better and she can tune in again. Verna Lockman, there you go. Oh, look, we got Peter Zelinka again. There you go, buddy. All right. I almost flipped you around. Almost had it. Almost didn't work, though. All right, then we got DB. There you go. Life is always good, brother. Always got to keep positive, buddy. Always. No matter what happens, always keep positive. Keep moving forward. You'll be surprised. All right. We got Kim Hunter. It's always good to know that you tune in. At least say hi, brother. It's always good to see you. Always. All right, we have Lydia Rose Kettles. One of these days I'm gonna have to come out there to BC and come hang out with my little brother. Finally get to meet you face to face, buddy. All right, so we have Katrina Brown again. And Ghost Pat. There he is, Ghost Pat. Woo! All right, then we have. We got like a triple here. Okay, we got a triple or quad? Nope, it's triple. All right, so we're gonna pull them all at once. There we go. We got a triple shout out for Mary Jane Goforth. There you go, dear. Check that out. See? Yeah, triple. All right, now who do I got last here? All right, we have Christopher Raquel. You ready, buddy? Okay, can you see this one? I will see this one. It's all good. There you go. Okay, send some positive vibes out to Christopher. He's a school bus driver, so hopefully he's driving safely out there. It looked like it might have rained, or it is raining, or it's going to rain. I know it rained it sprinkled a little bit earlier. Oh, is it still raining though?
No, it's up and off and on.
Take you around paradise you won't want to live. You never know. I think I go anywhere outside of Ontario, I might not want to return, but I do that. Look, and you know what? This is funny. This is totally funny. King Rems, check this out. Okay, you're gonna be getting tagged. Okay, after the show, you're getting tagged because you had Nacho was sending positive vibes out to you for you to come hang out with us, and we just did our second round of shoutouts. And I just took your name from his forehead up there. So see, good work, buddy. Good work. Right on. You did it again. Yes, Nacho sent out the positive vibes to King Rems, and King Rems ended up popping in. Always, brother. Always. Right on. All right. So let's see. What else we got here? I'm psychic. That's awesome. All right. Okay. So what facts? All right. So we were going to do. All right, we're going to do. Oh, okay, I got to do this one. Got to leave it to Maester Chef. Got to love you, buddy. All right, we're going to do some facts on cakes. You guys ready for this? Cakes. All right, so for anybody who has a sweet tooth out there or who loves baking or who just loves cake in general, All right, November 26th every year is the National Cake Day. All right, remember that. But just think, don't just think once a year, think twice a year, okay? Because on January 27th is actually National Chocolate Cake Day. Yes. So we don't have just a cake day. We have a cake day and then we have a chocolate cake day. So 2 times a year. Of course, always, always. So the word actually cake, the word cake comes from Middle English cake. And is probably a borrowing from the Old Norse. The meaning of cake has actually changed over time. And the first cake was a comparatively small, flattened sort of bread, round, oval, or otherwise regularly shaped, and usually baked hard on both sides by being turned during the process. The word, yeah, so like I said, old school, right? Of course, of course. Hey, Verna, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, so that's really weird. I don't know if see cakes are a lot different back in the day, right? Of course. The world's actually largest wedding cake weighed in at about 15,032 pounds. It was made by the chefs at the Mohegan Sun Hotel and Casino in February 2014. Wow. Glad that was my wedding cake. That would have been cool. I know I'm a big guy, but that, my friends, is a lot of cake. 15,000 pounds of cake. Wow. All right. So the world's tallest cake actually stood at about 108 feet, 3 inches high. Yeah, students and staff members at the Hakamisha Nalaskari Culinary School in Jakarta, Indonesia, baked it for their annual Christmas celebration. Wow, that's like so huge, so huge. So the world's most expensive cake, christened the Pirate's Fantasy, actually cost a whopping $35 million. I don't know if I would ever be willing to spend that much on a cake. Well, I don't know. It depends, I guess. See, I'm a baker, so I'm cheap. I don't like paying for cake. I like baking the cake. I find baked cake is better, and then going and just getting a store bought. That's just me. But $35 million, come on. That chocolate. Oh yeah, the chocolate cake shake. But it's gonna happen. But still, $35 million. That cake better be made of gold. For that much money, like wow. All right. So the first birthday cake was originally a cake given as an offering on a person's birthday. The first reference to birthday cake actually came back in 1785. During the 17th century in England, people believed that keeping fruitcakes under the pillow of those who are unmarried will give them sweet dreams about their fiance. Now people just eat them. Yeah. Maybe. Hello, Angie. How are you? Yes, it means Scarlett's there. Hi, Scarlett. Hi. Hello. How are you? Always rocking. Even Nacho says hi. But all right, we're doing facts on cakes, and some of these are really interesting. Okay, so the largest cupcake. So we went from cake, so we're doing cupcake now. The largest cupcake weighed in at 1,176.6 kilograms, which is a whopping 2,594 pound cupcake. It was achieved by Georgetown Cupcake of USA at the Georgetown Cupcakes National Shipping Headquarters in Sterling, Virginia, U.S. On November 2nd, 2011. Wow, you know how many people you'd have to get to eat that much cupcake? That's a lot of cupcake. So now we're gonna do a world record. Okay, so the world record for cupcake eating is 72 cupcakes in 6 minutes. And was set by Patrick Bertoloni in 2012. What was that?
I said I could probably do it.
Master Chef believes he can eat more than 72 cupcakes in 6 minutes.
Might have to try this.
You might have to try. I don't know. Scarlett says hi, and she wants birthday cake too. Her birthday's coming up. Oh, that's awesome. Scarlett, mine's Saturday, buddy. I should go get a birthday cake. Come up and say hi. Come on, what kid doesn't love birthday cake? Every kid does. I remember I got my son. I made my son his first birthday cake, And like, he started off in his high chair, and yeah, I had a little piece. Like, well, I made him a little mini cake. It went all over. And the second year we made him cake, I made him cake. It was just, we're like, no, we're gonna just put him on the floor, give him some space. Yeah, the whole kitchen floor was covered in cake, but he loved it though. He did. Like I said, every kid loves cake. Everyone. They all do. All right, so Queen Victoria was one of the first to actually have pure white icing on her wedding cake. That's why it's called royal icing. Well, that's pretty cool. So royal icing was named because Queen Victoria was one of the first to have pure white icing on her wedding cake. See, learn something new. See, and I was big for. I mean, I was a big for 14 years. It's like one of my biggest hobbies. So one of the first wedding cakes wasn't actually cake at all. It was bread. Yes. So in ancient Rome, bread over the bride's head to symbolize good fortune and fertility to the couple. So there you guys go. All right. So there's some facts on cakes. Now, what else we got? Okay, if he wants to go back. Oh, there we go. All right. All right. So we have a little let up for tuning in. So you know what? I'm going to do this one just for you, Scarlett. Okay. We got a little animal here. We're going to do for you. Okay. We're going to do some facts on zebras. Yes, the little white and black zebras. Okay. All right. So zebra is known all over the world for its one-of-a-kind coat. How so? The body of this animal is actually characterized by the combination of stripes. Some are black and others are white. The most interesting thing, though, there are no two zebras with the same set of stripes. Yeah. This can actually be compared to human fingerprints as well, because not two people have the same fingerprints. And there's no exact explanation why this phenomenon happens, but some scientists think that this unique coat is meant for camouflage. It's also believed to be a means of recognition between individuals. It's like our fingerprints or looks, right? The inner sides of this animal's legs are completely white. The white coat of the zebra protects the mammal's skin against solar radiation. Surprisingly, the skin is black. Yeah. So 3 species of zebras actually exist. They are as follows. There's the mountain zebra. Yes. Greves zebra. And the plains zebra. Donkeys, horses, and zebras are related to one another, though. In fact, all of these animals belong to a genus called Equus. There are also 2 subgenuses, the Dolichopus and the Hippoterius. Wow. All right, on to size matters. All right, so among the 3 zebra species, the one with the largest body is the Grave one. Its size is about 5 feet, or about 1.5 meters. This animal has a total weight of around 770 to 990 pounds. It's a lot of weight. Oh, night, Scarlett. See you later. You have yourself a great night, dear. Thank you for tuning in. I always love when my little MFers tune in. It's great. And even not just as night. Sweet dreams, little one. All right, so the smallest species is known as the plain zebra. Its weight can actually reach 770 pounds, but that's the most. Unlike the other one, that's the lowest it starts at. And the size of this species is about 3.6 to 4.8 feet, which is about 1.1 to 1.5 meters. Then there's the mountain zebra with a weight of anywhere between 529 to 820 pounds. This zebra has a body which can reach to about 3.8, from anywhere from 3.8 to 4.9 feet, which is around 116 to 150 centimeters. I think the other one's wrong. So zebra, the habitat of a zebra depends on its species. For instance, the mountain zebras prefer these regions, such as Angola, Namibia, and South Africa. The Grave species lives, in other places such as the northern Kenya and Ethiopia. Only the plain zebras have a different habitat, eastern and southern. Oh, bless me, sorry. All right, okay, we're good. Yes, so the plain zebras actually come from a different habitat, which is in the eastern and southern Africa, which is in the woodlands and the grasslands without any places with trees. So the total number of mountain zebras is about 2,000 in total. It's not a really high number. The population of the Grave species is made up of about 2,500 individuals. Another interesting fact is that the plains zebra count a population of approximately 750,000. So the grave and the mountain zebras are actually smaller species, which are really low numbers, right? And the diet of a zebra actually includes many types of grasses. This actually makes the animal a herbivore, yes. So apart from grass, zebras feed on such things as bark, leaves, and also twigs. This mammal also likes herbs and shrubs. So a group of zebras, if you actually see a group of zebras together, they're called a harem. Yes. It includes a stallion, which is the group's leader. Then there are also their offspring and female zebras. The latter are known as mares. The grave zebras actually doesn't live in a family group. No. So when talking about reproduction, it can be said that zebras mate all year round. There are actually 12 to 13 months of gestation. It's up to a year of pregnancy. What do you think of that, ladies? A full year of pregnancy, 12 to 13 months. As soon as this ends, the mare gives birth to a baby zebra. Its name is known as a foal. The skin of an offspring is actually covered in white and brown stripes. The fowl will recognize its mother's smell, voice, and sight in about 2 to 3 days after birth. So that's pretty cool. That is. The weight of an offspring at birth is roughly about 55 to 88 pounds. So that's still heavy. Yeah. A baby zebra. What?
That's a big baby.
That's a big baby. Yeah. A 55-pound baby. Wow. So baby zebra is ready to stand up and also walk without help after its mother has given birth to it. So right as soon as it's able to come out, it's able to walk without help. But fowls do feed on milk, and it takes about 3 to 6 years until a zebra reaches full maturity. Still a pretty quick process. These fascinating creatures have a sleeping habit similar to those of horses as well. Like the latter, a zebra rests while standing up. This makes it easy for the herd to flee if danger is close by. Another thing to note about zebras is that they talk to each other via bared teeth, snorting, barking, and showing wide open eyes. I don't know if I can do that really hard. So grooming one another is also a common sight when observing these animals. Such a behavior creates deep bonds between individuals. Another interesting fact is that in the wild, zebras can reach an age of about 25 years old. Wow. So the Swahili name of a zebra is Pundamila. Natural predators of the zebras are, of course, leopards, lions, cheetahs, and hyenas. They also have to avoid hunting dogs. So the male, okay. So the grave zebras are actually participating in circuses. There it would pull carts and 2 wheels during expositions. Wow. So in case of attacks from a predator, the stallion will remain where it is. The other members of the herd will run away diagonally. So wounded zebras are cared for by individuals in the same group. So if there is an enemy close to a zebra in pain, the herd will make sure the predator leaves. So sticking together as a family. That's awesome. That's amazing. Native American shamans consider zebras as important symbols. In fact, this animal signifies sureness of path, balance, and clarity. A zebra is also a symbol of agility. And the maximum speed of a zebra can actually reach about 65 kilometers an hour. Yeah, so you still can't outrun a zebra. Let's see here. So the IUCN have the mountain zebra on their vulnerable red list of threatened species. The plains zebra isn't endangered, but the graves is. So the mountain and the graves are, like I said, lower numbers, right? Lower numbers. All right, so we got time. Oh, of course we got time. So let's see here. We're gonna. Oh, if it wants to go back to my facts, there we go. All right. So let's see. Hey, Angie, how are you? Thanks for tuning in, dear. It's always good to see you. All right, so it's our fact day. Come on, we're drinking our tea. We're reading some facts.
still have way more facts.
I have 2 sets of facts. I'm just debating on which one to do first. Star Wars or Star Trek?
It's the best of both worlds.
I know. All right, so we're going to go Star Wars first.
It's a kickback to the 80s and 90s.
A kickback to the 80s and 90s, in the words of Maestro Show. All right, so here's some facts on Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. It's for all of our Comic-Con fans out there. Come on. We all love our comics. Come on. They're great. They're amazing. All right, so Luke Skywalker is the hero with 1,000 faces. So though equally inspired by fairy tales, westerns, and the 1930s sci-fi serials, George Lucas based the framework of the story for the original Star Wars back in 1977 around the theories of Joseph Campbell's book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. The book tracked common mythological motifs and argued that myths from around the world have been passed down through generations, like Beowulf or even King Arthur. So share a basic structure, according to Campbell. A hero ventures forth from the world of common day into the region of supernatural wonder. Fabulous forces are there encountered, and decisive victory is won. The hero comes back from this mysterious adventure with the power to bestow boons on his fellow man. Lucas simply grafted these ideas onto his story, with Luke as the main hero. Yes. So Lucas struggled with just how to tell this massive sci-fi space opera on a personal and relatable scale. And he found the answer with director Akira Kurosawa's 1958 film, The Hidden Fortress. Hello, Sarah. Thanks for tuning in. It's Star Wars it is, yes. So telling the story of a rugged general protecting a beautiful princess from an evil clan behind enemy lines. The one thing I was really intrigued by was the fact that the story was told from the 2 lowest characters. Lucas explained in an interview for the Creation Collections release of the Corner of Soul Classic. I decided that would be a nice way to tell the Star Wars story. Take the 2 lowliest characters, as Kurosawa did, and tell the story from their point of view, which in Star Wars case is the 2 droids. Yes, the 2 droids. And that was the strongest influence. The fact that there was a princess trying to get through enemy lines was more of a coincidence than anything else. All right, so more from Mental Floss Studios and how to inflate the float. Perhaps not coincidentally, the word Jedi, yes, the word Jedi, is allegedly derived from the Japanese word jedidikeki, meaning period dramas. Or the types of films Japanese directors like Kurosawa would typically make. The kind of movies that clearly influenced Lucas. So in 1973, Lucas submitted a 13-page treatment of his story, originally entitled The Star Wars, to Universal Studios and United Artists following the success of his movie American Graffiti, which was nominated for 5 Oscars, including Best Picture and a Best Director nod for Lucas the same year. So both studios passed, saying the far-flung sci-fi extravaganza was too confusing. The treatment was eventually picked up by 20th Century Fox head Alan Ladd Jr., who gave Lucas a preliminary deal in 1974 to eventually make the film. But the final screenplay Lucas turned in was more than 200 pages long. The average length of a screenplay is roughly between 95 to 125 pages. So Lucas accessed the final 2 acts and presented the first act of the screenplay as the finished story. The script was made into Star Wars. And the final 2 acts of the initial giant screenplay was eventually expanded and fleshed out into what would become The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So to get 20th Century Fox to approve the then massive budget of almost $10 million, though the final budget eventually came in to around $11 million back then. That's a lot back then. Lucas pitched Star Wars with a series of 21 drawings he commissioned from illustrator Ralph McQuarrie. These included scenes of C-3PO and R2-D2, crash landing on Tatooine, Vader confronting Luke, then with the surname of Star Killer. With his lightsaber, the Mos Eisley Cantina, the Millennium Falcon in Docking Bay 94, the attack on the Death Star Trench, and a view of a floating city that would eventually become Bisping in The Empire Strikes Back. So Lucas toyed with the idea of many different casting variations at points during pre-production. He flirted with the idea of casting only African-American actors, and then possibly using only Japanese actors, such as Akira Kurosawa, favorite Toshiro Mifune as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then possibly using only little people. Of the latter, Lucas said, I think that idea was a little influenced by The Lord of the Rings. Yeah. So Harrison Ford, yes. So Harrison Ford was actually cast as Han Solo by accident, yes. Hello, Katrina. Thanks for tuning in. You missed it. There you had yourself some shout-outs earlier. But yes. So Harrison Ford was actually cast by accident, yes. So Lucas shared the 7-month-long casting sessions for Star Wars with his friend and fellow director Brian De Palma, who was casting for Carrie at the same time. So Lucas was working for unknown faces that he had never worked with before. That's what he was looking for, right? Unknown faces. Initially brought in Harrison Ford, who appeared as the egotist street racer Bob Felfa in Lucas's American Graffiti. So to feed lines with the auditioning actors. So Lucas saw dozens of actors, including a young Kurt Russell, for the part of Han, but liked Ford's delivering feeding lines to the other actors so much that he actually caved in and cast in the part. I know, and I hope you get better. I really do. Hopefully, like I said, get lots of rest, plenty of fluids, get some Buckleys into you. Trust me, it'll help. And like I always say, I hope you can always get better. It's the summertime, okay? I know a lot of people are getting the flu and stuff right now, but just think, summer's still here, okay? You'll get a little bit better. Just take some rest, all right? Think positive thoughts. You'll get better. You always do, all right? So yeah, that's what he was. And he just, he was sitting there. He was sitting in to talk to the auditioning actors and actresses to help them out. And the way he was doing it, Luke's like, it's yours. It's just yours. Of course, always. Hey, trust me. If I could, I'd take your flu away and just give it to myself. So now legendary sound designer Ben Burtt got his start on Star Wars fresh out of USC Film School. He was tasked with coming up with a completely new and organic soundscape for the movie, which was at odds with the trend of creating intentionally electronic and futuristic sounds for sci-fi movies at the time. So the first sound effect that he created was actually Chewbacca's voice, which is a blend of a bear, a lion, walrus, and badger. So those are combined together to make Chewbacca. That's awesome. R2D2's voice was made using loops on a synthesizer matched with beeps and boops modeled after baby coos performed by Burt himself. Darth Vader's infamous breathing was recorded by putting a microphone inside of a regulator on a scuba tank. Wow. The Tusken Raider howl is a mixture of mule sounds and people imitating mule sounds. The lightsaber's whoosh was made by blending the hum of an idle 35mm film projector and passing a slightly broken microphone cable by the tubes of an old television set. See, that's how they come up with these sounds. It's pretty amazing. Yes, all right. So the name of the name of Darth Vader wasn't actually anything special to Lucas. That's just another one of those things that came out of thin air. It just sort of appeared in my head one day, Lucas said in a JW Runsters, The Making of Star Wars. Darth is actually a variation of dark. And Vader is actually a variation of father. So it actually basically means, Darth Vader means dark father. Yeah.
Da, da, da.
And guess what? Orson Welles almost was Darth Vader. Yes, George Lucas originally wanted Orson Welles as the voice of Darth Vader, but dropped the idea when he thought Welles' famous baritone would be a little too recognizable. And James Earl Jones put in less than a day's work. Yes, Lucas chose Jones as the voice of Darth Vader because of the actor's unmistakable baritone. He was given only $7,500 for his services and completed all of his lines in 2.5 hours. Vader is a man who never learned the beauties and subtleties of human expression, Jones said. So we figured out a key to my work was to keep it on a very narrow band of expression. He says that was his secret. So the movie's iconic opening crawl was actually created with practical effects. The opening crawl for the original movie, which was cribbed from the Flash Gordon series that also inspired the film, was done practically by carefully placing a 2-foot wide die-cast yellow letters over a 6-foot long black paper background, with the camera making a slow pass over them to mimic the crawl. In total, it took about 3 hours to shoot just the opening credits. Wow. So Luke and Leia's swing across the Death Star chasm was actually for real, well, kind of. The relatively small production of Star Wars at England's Austrian studios meant that corners had to be cut wherever possible, even for the main actors. So when it came time for Luke and Leia to perform the iconic swing from the Death Star chasm, Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher had to do it themselves because the production couldn't afford stunt doubles. That's pretty cool. That's pretty amazing, right? So the actors who were secured with safety harnesses swung across the platform 30 feet above the studio floor in one take, which is what you actually see in the final film. Though the drop was lengthened to seem bottomless in a post-production using a matte painting. Okay, we're getting there. All right. And yes, we're going in overtime, of course. I love it. The original Millennium Falcon looked completely different, too. The original concept model of the Millennium Falcon was long and cylindrical, so very unlike the very flat design that we now know. The model makers complained the design was too similar to the spacecraft from the 1970s British TV series Space, 1999. So Lucas told them to create something completely different that looked like a flying hamburger and sailed like a sunfish. So a variation of the Falcon prototype did, however, end up in the movie. It's the Rebel blockade runner seen fleeing the Imperial Star Destroyer in the opening scene. So Lucas actually used real-life war footage for the space battles. Industrial Light and Magic is now one of the prominent special effect companies in the world. But back in the late 1970s, it was just a group of artists in an empty warehouse in Vons, California. The company, which invented technology like special computer-controlled camera rigs in order to create the special effects for Star Wars, was tasked with completing a year's worth of work in just 6 months. So to give them ideas for the type of high-intensity and cutting-edge sequences he wanted, Lucas used old newsreels to cut together footage of World War II, like their dogfights. ILM eventually matched many of the sequences frame by frame, including the space battle in the Millennium Falcon between Han, Luke, and the TIE fighters, directly to the footage Lucas provided. That's pretty cool. And guess what? Yeah. Theaters didn't even want to show the movie. No. Less than 40 theaters actually agreed to book showings of Star Wars after its release date was moved up to before Memorial Day. The studio thought it would bomb in a crowded summer movie slate. So around the same time, 20th Century Fox was going to release an eagerly anticipated adaptation of the best-selling book called The Other Side of Midnight, which theaters were eager to show. Fox then stipulated that any theater showing The Other Side of Midnight must also show Star Wars, which inflated the number of screens for the movie. So needless to say, Star Wars eventually became the highest-grossing movie ever made up to that time, while The Other Side of Midnight didn't even break the 25 million mark. Yeah. And as requiring movie theaters to show one movie in exchange for another movie was actually illegal. 20th Century Fox ended up being fined $25,000 in theaters to show The Other Side of Midnight. So there you guys go, all right? That's pretty cool. Hey, Christopher. Look, see, you did it again. Look. Christopher Cole, it's 2 for 2. All right, Nacho. Right on, buddy. Definitely give me props. Nacho did it. He got a 2 for 2. He got King Rams. He got Christopher Bruckel. Right on, buddy. All right, definitely props, buddy. Definitely right on, right on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten to that time. We did go into a little bit of overtime, but that's okay. I want to get those facts into you, all right? So we still got more facts to bring to you on Tuesday, all right? So we got some Star Trek facts to do on Tuesday, all right? So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night, all right? Because I'll be here live in the studio. Yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys have a great day. If you guys aren't feeling well, hopefully you guys feel a little bit better. To the one out there, I know that you do watch. You may not comment, you may not react, but always remember, I'm okay. And to all my MFers out there, I love each and every last single one of these. Without you guys, MFers Live wouldn't be here and doing what it's doing today. Like I said, we've had some pretty amazing events. We've had our own Christmas party, our own birthday party. We've got to go stream and host Mr. Jones' Canadian Tour show in Guelph. And that was pretty amazing. Like I said, we got a whole bunch of fun, amazing stuff coming up still. So make sure you guys stay tuned, all right? So, all right, remember, same MF for time. Same MF for channel, all right? Keep spreading peace, love, and positivity. And yes, if you're watching right now or you're watching on a replay, okay, if you cannot say it to yourself, like I always say, you can tune into any one of my shows. I always say it at the end of it. It still doesn't mean that much to you. Hey, reach out to me, okay? And I will tell you personally because I believe in it, okay? Always remember, ladies and gentlemen, that you, yes, you matter, okay? You do, okay? Never forget that. And always remember, you're never alone, okay, ladies and gentlemen? And in the words of Bill Nye, the science guy, let's help save the world. And the best way I think we can do it is a little bit of peace, love, and positivity. And thanks for tuning in. You too, Michael. It was great seeing you tuning in, buddy. Always great. Always. Peace, love, and positivity, y'all.